this is Josephine Benson, and on this channel, I'm Josephine Greatness. Today, I'm going to take you through tips to passing your midwifery OSCE implementation station in the EPI station. If you are ready for this video, let's get straight into it. Basically, the implementation station is all about drug administration, okay? So the EPI station, in a nutshell, is assessment, A for assessment, P for planning, and then the I is for implementation. So after you've given your plan for your patient, the next step is to serve your drugs, all right? So throughout training or supporting pre-registered internationally educated midwives to pass their OSCE, I've put down some of these tips, the feedback or some of the stuffs that my candidate, what I'll put my candidate, falls short in. So I've compiled all these things together, and I've seen that it keeps repeating from candidate to candidate, and so I've put it down to help you guys get those of you that are yet to write. Okay, so the number one I want to talk about is identifying your patients, with making sure that you are with the right patient immediately you get into your scene. After you've done your hand hygiene plus provided privacy and you've entered into the scene, you are going to introduce yourself to your patient. The next thing to do is to make sure that you are with the right patient. Know that this is in all the stations, you should make sure that you are the right patient. But in this implementation station, I'm making this the first one because you going to serve a medication to the wrong patient is a serious fault to patient safety. All right, so make sure that you identify your patient with a wristband plus your documents that you have with you, and you go like, I'm for example Vida Henson, I'm your midwife taking care of you today, and you are due for your medications. For example, if the scenario gave you 1400 hours medication to serve, so you go like, you are due for your 14 o'clock medications, but before I can do anything, can I please confirm with your wristband and my medication charts to make sure that I'm with the right patient? So you go, your name is Vida Henson, and make sure that you are moving your head from the wristband to your document so that the assessor will see that yes, truly you are identifying you are with the right patient. So you go like, you are Vida Henson, then you look on your document, and your date of birth is what I recommend to candidates is that allow the patient to call out her date of birth. Okay, so she can go like, my date of birth is 25th January 1995. Okay, 25th January 1995. Then you look on your document, 25th January 1995, and your hospital number is, you read it, 12345 12345. The next thing I'll talk about is allergy. In all the stations, you have to find out the patient's allergy. But in the implementation stages, it's very crucial. It is very crucial. If you leave out the patient, whether the patient has an allergy or not, it is a serious red flag. So ask, are you allergic to anything? I've done a video on the assessment station where I spoke into details about the allergy, how to find out, and even though the patient is in white, wristband or red wristband, why you should still, ask about the allergy. So are you allergic to anything? The patient will tell you what she's allergic to, because you are going to serve medication. Sometimes the station, they can give you a scenario where in the drug chart, maybe the patient is allergic to penicillin, and there can be a penicillin containing, a medication that contains penicillin in the drug chart. So it is testing you to see if you are going to, keep the safety of your patient by not serving that medication. So on the next thing I'll say, number 2, is make sure you read through your medication chart. So in the implementation station, you have to read through your medication chart from page to page, cover to cover. All right, so today I'm not going to focus on how to do the whole implementation stage. I'm just giving you tips to passing it, tips to avoid you from going back to write the implementation station again. Okay, so make sure that you cover every page and find out, because some of the feedback that I get from my candidates when they go and they come back is they forget to check the whole page. And so instead of, maybe sometimes you have to serve on that drug chart, you are supposed to serve 2 medications, but because the candidate didn't read the whole medication chart, she tends to find out only one medication and serves just that one medication, because the last page of that drug chart had a medication that the patient was due for, but because she didn't read the whole chart, she left it out. So make sure you read your medication chart out. Okay, you are reading it not in your head. Remember, I told you, assume that the assessor is deaf and cannot hear you. So you have to read everything, so that you have to say everything so that the assessor can hear what you are saying, so that she can mark you. And then whilst reading this medication chart, why are you reading it? You are not reading the medication chart for fun. You are reading it to find out that the 10 drug rights are all correct. You know, the right drug, right patient, right route, etc., etc. So before you start reading it, you go like, I'm going to read through my medication charts to make sure that the 10 drug rights or the 10 medication rights are all intact. That is, I've trained a couple of candidates to pass their OSCE, and this is what I'm telling you, because most of the candidates, whilst I'm training them, I go like, when you are going to read your medication chart, make sure that you verbalize this and pinpoint. I'm going to read through my medication chart to make sure that the 10 medication rights, which are right patient, right this, right that, right up to 10, mention them before you start reading your medication chart. Some of them feel that it is just for fun. I'm saying I'm being too straight and all that, but they go and then they leave it out and they come back, and the only feedback that some of them get is that you did not read the medication chart to make sure that these 10 rights, you didn't verbalize the 10 rights, and that is just why they are going. Some assessors will just overlook it, some may not overlook. So why don't you just say it and then get your mark and go home and sleep? Okay? And know that in the implementation station, the next point I will say is, when you enter into your scene, I have made mention of that. That was my number one. You have already identified your patient and you've talked about her allergy and all that. Then after that, you read through your medication chart, which I've just mentioned. And then you are going to go to prepare your medication and come back with the medication. So when you get back to the patient's bedside with the medication, you don't just go ahead and start serving the medication. Dear, you have to confirm the identity of the patient again before you actually serve the medication. So this will be the number 2 confirmation of your patient identity with the wristband and your medication chart. All right. So remember, after you've prepared your medication, when you come back again, confirm. For example, you go like, I'm ready with your medication. Your medication is here. Are you happy to take it? Do you have any problem with swallowing? What do you want to take your medication with? Because some of them, if all of it is oral, you go, all of it is oral, or some of them are oral. So do you want to use water or you want to use juice? What do you want to do? When the patient tells you, before you give the medication to the patient, go like, before I can serve the medication, can I again confirm your name and your hospital number with your wristband against my medication chart? Can I touch your wristband? She'll say yes. And then you confirm again, just as you did the first time, okay? And just as you did the first time, make sure that you confirm everything, including her allergies, all right? And then, of course, if you've watched my assessment, tips to passing your assessment video, you'll find that I add pain to it. So when you are confirming that, add pain, ask the patient about pain, all right? Then the next thing I'll say, again, I've said it applies to all the other, stations, is your timing. If you know all that you have to do, but you don't finish it in time, you are going to go back, because the assessor will not know that you knew it and you did it. It's just that you couldn't finish it. You have to finish everything. So work on your speed. Implementation station is 15 minutes. So make sure that whilst you are practicing on your own, you give yourself 2 to 5 minutes grace period. So you time yourself during your personal practice or training. Do well to, finish the implementation station within 10 to 13 minutes, so that when you get into the examination pressure, even if you are going to delay, you'll be able to finish it within that 15 minutes designated time. Is that okay? And then another thing that I'm going to say is that the medications you are going to give to your patients, almost all medications have side effects. If the medication doesn't have a side effect, it has contraindication. It has the indication that medication is for. So before you serve the medication, let's say, for example, you are going to serve your patient paracetamol, oral paracetamol, and then metronidazole, okay? I'll add on that, do not mix the tablet in 1 cup. So when you go and you are preparing your medication, take 1 cup, put your paracetamol in it, another cup, and then put your metronidazole in it. This is just an example of 2 medications that you may meet in the OSCE, all right? So when you get to the patient side, because the cups are different, which is safety, that is how we do it here in the UK or in the OSCE. You take the paracetamol, make sure you tell the patient what the paracetamol is, and that is the indication of the medication. Make sure you tell the patient about the side effects, the contraindications, okay? When you take the metronidazole, do the same. So what I advise the candidate that I train, I've gotten the privilege to train to pass their OSCE, is that some of the medications, for sure you are going to make. Paracetamol is a pain relief. It's a universal pain relief that almost everybody takes. Every pregnant woman is allowed to take unless she's allergic to it. So know the side effect, the indication, and the contraindications for paracetamol, okay? There is a BNF, okay, tablets in the OSCE center where you are allowed to, if you take paracetamol, you are allowed to type it in and search it and then read out the indication, the side effects and the contraindication to the patient and its effects on pregnancy and the unborn baby, okay? Or if it's a postnatal case, a breastfeeding baby. So if you are able to, cram or memorize the side effects of these common medications that you are most likely to meet in the OSCE, if you're able to, memorize it in your brain, then you are good to go. It will save you time. So you'll be able to tell the patient, this is the indication of this medication, the side effects and all that. But make sure that if you've memorized it and you're not going to use a BNF, make sure that you are telling the patient, what you are telling the patient is true, okay? Don't go and say things that are not correct to the patient. If you know you can't memorize it, then you have to speed up with your speed more because you need time to open the BNF and then read it out to the patient before you give the medication to the patient. I hope I've made myself clear. All that I'm saying is that there is a BNF tablet there. You are allowed as a candidate in the exam to open it, type in paracetamol or whatever medication you are saving and read out the indication, the side effects and etc. to the patient. But for time's sake, if you feel your speed is not enough, then you can, whilst you are preparing for your exam, you can put all these medications, the side effects and all that in your memory so that you can tell the patient about it without using the BNF tablet. But if you know you are going to forget and not tell the patient exactly what the information is, then it is best you read it from the BNF, because if you are telling the patient that a paracetamol side effect is diarrhea and it is not true, it's a red flag, you are going to go back. Is that okay? And then another red flag in the implementation station that I'll end with is make sure that you are not being judgmental to the patients, be it the behavior, the patient's sexuality, and then make sure that your communication is clear and the patient can hear you, all right? And then also make sure that when you are done with your medication, you are going to sign and you are going to pen your signature at the right column. So if the patient is due for medication at 14 o'clock, make sure you sign against 14 o'clock and make sure that 14 o'clock you are signing against is against the right medication that you have saved. Don't go signing against 18 o'clock because you didn't save 18 o'clock. You were asked to save 14 o'clock. So make sure. Some candidates' feedback goes like, you did well in the station. You were able to save the medication rightly. You did everything right, but you signed at the wrong place. Also, if the patient had, if the prescriber prescribed a medication and didn't prescribe it well, that medication didn't meet the 10 medication rights, and you have to go back and get it, re-prescribed correctly. There are codes on the medication chart. So make sure that you know the right code to put at the right time, all right? So if it happens that, let's say, for example, the code for patient is not available on the ward or medication is not available or it wasn't well prescribed or legibly prescribed, it's number 6. When you get to signing out the medication charts, after you are done with everything, make sure that you put that number 6 at the right place and then sign against it. Is that okay? That brings us to the end of this video. If there is something that I left out, you can pop it in the comment section below. If there is something I didn't say correctly, you can also pop it in the comment section below. And if there is any video you want me to do for you guys to help you pass your OSCE, kindly pop it in the comment section below. If you know anybody that this video will be beneficial to, don't hesitate to share it. If today is your first time you are meeting me on this channel, it is Josephine Benson, and on this channel, I'm Josephine Greatness. It is so nice meeting you. Don't forget to hit on the subscription button and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. On this channel, I share information about how to migrate to the UK as a health worker, focusing more on midwifery because I am a midwife. I share vlogs of my lifestyle here in the UK, health education, my music videos. I share the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, little tidbits of everything here and there. So this channel is really dope. Don't go away without subscribing. To my return subscribers, guys, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos, sharing it. Don't forget to join my Telegram channel and page where you get all the support you need in your migration process and in getting your PIN as an internationally educated nurse, midwife, or nursing associate. It is great having you around, guys. So until we meet in my next video, it is take care of yourself and I wish you success in your OSCE. Bye.